Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Hidden Flame. Welcome back. Might as well do my greeting. Greet. Nope, that's great. Greet. There we are. So I looked it up. We have 6 quests to go. This is a 10 quest game, or patch. Ah, here are answers. Damn it.
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia past, when the
That's
Algan
Dragon Song.
Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Merasidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat, and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors.
That's actually Dragon Song, not answers.
With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities. In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void. Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Void Scent on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
Indeed, I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land. Along with my sibling, Ashdaya. We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me. I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Ashdaya cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes. Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Ashdaya risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the Void Gate itself to strike at the root of their strength. I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her. And Ashdaya has been lost to us ever since.
I find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
That does not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Ashdaya. Until I could search no more. Until Alag was dust, and the art to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here. under the control of a harnessed device.
My discovery came before Radzat was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure. It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly they worked to expand the fissure, and after decades of toil, it finally grew to a size that a child might pass through.
Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, but Ashdaya's answer was silence. I suspect the conclusion to your tale is not a joyful one.
With hope in my heart, I used the simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her. What I found was a host of voidsent, clamoring around the opening they had sensed. 'Twas but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Razathan and abandoning your sister. You chose the latter.
'Twas not that thy siblings scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
I can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void. You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness.
I remember when Nero turned purple.
Turned purple? Well, yes. His wounds had allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether. Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Then there is little hope for Ashdaya.
Ah, no. I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities. The scales of the First Brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome. Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late. And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection. So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course. I wish only to forget the rest.
Okay, so that was a big-ass cutscene. So they managed not only to expand the fissure, but also manipulate it as one might a gate. Astonishing. Is there a chance I could learn more how the feat was accomplished? I will tell you what I can. First, however, I must return to the High Crucible and arrange to replace the guardians you so handedly destroyed. It will not do to leave the gate undefended. My apologies. We were perhaps a touch zealous in our rush to uncover the vault's secrets. If the constructs can be repaired, we would be happy to offer assistance. That will not be necessary. Much as I retain spare vessels for myself, we can duplicate guardians on hand for such eventualities. In any case, we should return to Razadheim. So, what about all the money? All the gil? Yeah, anyway. Okay, so we are heading to the High Crucible. We promised to discuss the Void Gate further. I promised we would discuss the Void Gate further. But at first I must tend to the matter of the Vault Sentinels. As your instruments no doubt informed you, Kapi Kulu has been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed to its post along with some few lesser constructs. Was it Tomb Robbers? Or was it Tomb Robbers? Friends born of the Tower of Zot? By the sisters? Do not tell me the blasphemy yet still roam free. Wait, what? Explain, please. I am so confused. What's going on here? We're all confused. What? Explain, please. Why such guilty faces? Surely it isn't you who is responsible for this. Oh. Well, details are not important. I shall see it done immediately. And with that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now I believe you have questions. Quite a few, yeah, in fact. But I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with the alchemy forced lock and warded with my magic. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. That said, in its current state, I would admit only the lowest of void sent, and from this side, no man will be able to pass through. No man? I think Alphino would fit, given a firm enough push. Physical side is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density in the soul in transit. And yet, you succeeded in expanding this diminutive portal and sending your soul realm to the 13th. Thanks to my brilliant alchemists, I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means to control it. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. By the process, it has long since been forgotten. Once I had given up searching for I can't remember how to pronounce her name. Asdaja. Asdaja? Sure. There was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. Thus the gate lay dormant for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open the Void Gate, one bound to a covenant made with the Cloud of Darkness. Once that sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken and the doorway severed from its connection to the Void. Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with another Void Sin. Such deals usually end in a betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain our understanding of the Bounty Gate. Mayhap you could resume the search for your sister? As I have already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. I meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? I'm gonna throw everybody under the bus. It's all Estinian's idea. Tis I recall, 'twas you who was chasing tales of undersea ruins. Well, you've seen the fabulous wealth from the stories. It's quite real. If not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. I've been adding to that trove for years, little by little, but the time has come to spend it, that I might elevate my people's suffering. Then, are we of one mind? We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Your Excellency, would you object if I were to conduct a closer examination of the gate? I will make no attempt to open it, of course. I owe you and yours a debt that cannot be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permission. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the Loperids would be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave of you. And I must go off to Charlian as well. Mistress Krah was eager to speak with you about the request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you're able. Farewell for now. We can discuss my findings once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. The difficult part in all this will be deciding how best to put these riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance in these deliberations? You think to make up for the constructs we broke? Then think of your employment as recompense. Serve me as guest advisors, and I will consider the broken constructs paid in full. Hidden and I are in this together. I will follow her example. Cool. Oh, that's a beautiful area. Who is this guy? Wait a minute. Is that gonna be... Ooh. Is this who I think it is? Yep, that's the big boy. Forget his name. I sensed the breach of the gate, but it was not... Oh, this is Final Fantasy IV. I sensed the breach of the gate, but it was not instigated from this side. 'Twas thrown open from the other. I, too, felt it. A rare occurrence, yes. But such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. There must be more pressing matters at hand. An opportunity upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip from our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate she who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Ah, let her come. I will drown the world and watch this fleshling grasp for breath in her final moments. Keep forgetting your name. Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Think back on our struggles beneath the sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. "'Tis time we set the wall in motion and win redemption for our star. Forget your name. So we begin. We are to spend the treasure wisely. Then we must determine which groups would benefit the most from monumentary assistance. Some of the citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I'd ask you to act in my stead. Hidden, you are to visit Akali and Yadamed, speak with Matsia and his people, and listen to their grievances. Estinian, I bid you to do the same at Palaka Stand. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at the Magaduda? Whatever it is. Okay, back we go. We're gonna be fighting the Lunarians. I really can't remember. I'm gonna have to look up his name. It's gonna bother me. It's not Garland. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oh, it's raining. I like the rain. Well, it's not Zemus, that's for sure. Golbez, there we are. Where you at, buddy? That was Golbez. Oh, Hidden. I was so glad to see you return unharmed. You finished with the boat then? Anything the village desperately needs? I suppose Kazahall's loss hit us the hardest. Been trying to find buyers for my fish, although I sell a few here and there. It's much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's been struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together the best we can. Really? That's it? Now I gotta go all the way over here? Bloody hell. So Golbez is gonna be a... Wait, are we gonna be... Oh god, is that gonna be the next expansion? Golbez and company? Do you need anything? Good evenings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Thanavot, then you would try my special Armalissi. Sure. It is refreshing zest, can't be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles for a generous price of 19,800 gil. But for you, I'm willing to go as low as even 10,000. That's practically stealing for me. Stealing. At that price, you're the only thief here. God, you're the one who was with that spear-toting fellow? Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we're still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we have these days. I myself barely have enough coin to sell at local prices, I tell you. If it didn't change the odd adventure, if I don't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging this for scraps on the street. What's up? How fares the port? Well, it's shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more, but now that the danger's past, certainly. But no small number of merchants have to sell their ships to make ends meet for the short term. To add that the sailors we lost in the final days, it is a little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Calzal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done, God rest his soul. Ooh, I just got money. Okay, cool. Let's say that music kind of sounds like from Abe. Okay, I need to go here. My advisor's returned. Just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? Could you have just flown across the island in a fraction of the time? Be that as it may, the sight of the massive creature descending from the sky can be startling, to say the least. And there are very few places I can enter comfortably without risking the risk of flattening some cartridge. Oh. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palakstans were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources are stretched to the limit when the refugees were pouring in, but they preserved with some assistance from Yeldmad. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers, and the like. And I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs, for the most part. Palakstans has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of the stone leaving Thanavar has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, the prosperity dependent on the steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so that we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Akali and Yaldmad? Akali's fine. Yaldman, on the other hand, I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Oh, come on. Which is why I believe we should address the lack of ships and shortages of able-bodied sailors in Yaldmad. I am reminded of a child I spied on my way back to the palace. His father was lost at sea when the beasts sunk their vessel. So many variations of the tragic tale I repeated over and over. So many lives lost. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome. But we will not. Hidden Estinian, I will consider the perspectives you have brought me and devise a plan to help my people confront the adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. Is it going to be voiced?
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadar's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. Made aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Kalzar's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Wow. Takes a village.
Of course, we must all look out for one another. Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadar's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy
Why am I dealing all these things? Something with Kalzal seems appropriate.
A fitting candidate. Kalzal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Murad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
Okay, so there's that one. Let's see, which one do I want? Yeah, let's get this one. Skip pancakes. Veteran resident. Okay. Oh, shoot. Hang on. Where is it? Thank you for putting forth Kazal's name. Those who lived, those whose lives he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Y'shtola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood, thank you. Coda says hi, everybody. I'll go with you. Calm down, Coda. It'll be okay. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Alwyn assumed the office. I understand what needs to be done. And I'm curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. So where am I going? Where is it? Over here?
Right, here we all are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
What of the many Voidsent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power. upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alak's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive, and I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Well, so much for taking it easy.
Since when were you one for the quiet life? Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
He's got a point. Or she's got a point.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Radzatan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daymir was overseeing the project.
Daymir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made void scent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daymir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with... Indeed. Numenon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Oh boy. Okay, so that was a long cutscene. Oh. Okay. And have her accompany me. Where am I going? If we're to enter the Numenon's restricted archives with a minimal fuss, then we must secure permission with the Forum. First, however, we need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? No one springs to mind? What of this Solarch Montache? He did come to Graha's defense in the quarry after all. To settle, let's head to the Phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. Okay, I guess we're going this way. Up. Oh no, am I going the wrong way? Ah, we're taking the scenic route. I actually didn't think it was gonna be one of these, but okay. So it's gonna be a little bit longer as we finish this mission. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7 and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. Never had a chance to attend the stadium. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after Master Louisois took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another archon. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. Sometimes I wonder what my life would have been like if I had pursued studies here instead. Should I wonder as well? Tea at the last stand at the day after a day of lectures? Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends, sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Matora for the world. The dank cave I studied in was as far from the bright, airy halls of the academia as one could get, but it was wondrous, magical childhood nonetheless. Knock, knock. Coming through. Montache. Ah, visitors, and quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Scholarch, but we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter the Numenon's restricted archives. Oh, no furtive forays into this text this time, eh? Yeah. I applaud this newfound sense of propriety, yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb the vault for forbidden wisdom? Just a little personal experiment. Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Demir has lain dormant in Charlien's archive for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void? That is, in fact, precisely what we intend to do. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, for one, that I may keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of the future. And yet, I want to do everything to unveil it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two to if a grand revelation was a promised reward? Marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. After hearing the ways and wherefores, I, for one, do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason to present your request to the forum's consideration. But, although your petition would be better received if you had the support of another well-placed acquaintance, why, Master Fortuno, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's most trusted comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there's no denying that having Master Fortuno on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well, we will pay a visit to Livia Estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is a bit as insatiable as yours, I wager. So if you could see your way to indulge an old man's curiosity. Of course, Scholar Art, we would be sure to pass on any revelations. God, this is going to be a long video. Where am I going? Oh my god, on the other end of town. Okay, let's run. So guys, yeah, this is a bit of a longer video, and I hope it ends here soon. But we've only done, what, 2 missions? After this will be 3 left. So yeah, at least 1, maybe 2 more videos, depending on how long it takes. Could be a short one, could be an uber long one. I just hope it's the latter, or it's the short one, or former. But as we speak, I hope this one's almost over, because my coffee is wearing out. And at the time of recording, it is 4 a.m. So it is a little tiring. But I wanted to try to get all these recordings done as quick as possible to get it ready for 6.2, which at the time of recording should be very soon. So hopefully all these videos will be up to date. But we'll see. It looks like we are here. House Livia. The twins are gonna be here. Mistress Hidden, Mistress Yashola, how may I be of service? We come to speak with Master Fortuno. Is he home by any chance? Oh, yes, the master is in the residence. Shall I inform him he has guests? Well, Amelius would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have a matter of importance to discuss. Then you pray proceed. You have my full attention. Well, long story short, we need your help. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following through proper protocols this time around. Scholar Montache expressed the same sentiment, I assure you. Will not attempt to circumvent the Forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for a good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend. A selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up the thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over the people, yet healing from the flames of the final days, his loyal to his duty, and while betraying his longing in his heart. 'Tis no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. She went straight for the heartstrings, didn't she? Reflections are still very much of a mystery to us. Offering to share your knowledge, your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange of our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The Forum must be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Balsidian Annex. So, am I heading to... Oh, God. Dang it. Where are we going? Okay. To the Balsidian Annex, please. Can I jump? Nice. Ah, there it is. God, this video is going to be so long. Hey, you two. So, what did the Forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Matoria has burned some bridges here in Charlian and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner of the question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded, in no certain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe you and your companions. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed to allow you entry to the archives was the least we can do in return. It's wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, I am sure that you are aware the permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavor and bid you good day. I said good day. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising. Aye, it is a very stoicism is exactly what Charlene needed to guide it through not one but two exoduses. Ah, there it is. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes in getting my hands on the Forbidden Tomes. And now I can simply walk through the door. Our focus will be on finding House Demir's research notes, of course. But the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. Okay, so that lasted an additional 30 minutes. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I will be back next time for another episode. So till then, take care.